We've now reached the point of trialing out outfits on YouTube, and I don't think that this is it. Hi everyone, my name is Charlie, and today I'm going to be talking about nothing in particular because it's Sunday and it's raining and it's blowing a gale, and from the sounds of things she's quite happy about that. So yeah, let's just chat, I suppose. It's going to be a bit loud, a bit noisy today because my father and my brother are at home. They're downstairs. A moment ago they were watching Christmas music videos, which will lead to an inevitable argument because my brother hates music videos and Christmas music in particular, so this will be fun to listen to. Similar to last week, this is a difficult video for me to figure out what I want to chat about because I have been showing so much of my weeks throughout the vlogs that I do. So this week, you know, we had the whole thing of expecting puppies to sell. I went to work yesterday expecting to have sold 3 pups. 1 sold on Friday instead. Then we got a phone call to say that somebody wouldn't be coming to pick up one of the pups because they'd found one closer to home, and the third decided that they just couldn't be bothered anymore. They'd changed their mind, and unfortunately this is the kind of thing that you will get. I know it's strange. Someone said yesterday, can you imagine what it must be like to be a pup and know that your entire first 8 weeks is all about how much money you're going to make in 8 weeks time? I wouldn't really like selling stuff this close to Christmas usually. I know it's happened with a litter of pups we had years ago, and it's not something I've ever really talked about on YouTube. Sorry, I've just realised I have a piece of straw in my hat. It's not something I'd ordinarily talk about because it's nothing to do with books or YouTube or anything, but it is a side of farming that when you can't necessarily make a lot of money, it's something on the side to make sheepdogs. This makes me look bulkier than I am, and I am not happy about that. Because I'm currently the lightest I've been in years, so upsetting. Anyway, so in terms of the pups, my dad rang me and then he asked me to put a advert in the window of the pet shop next door to my shop, and one went in my window. I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to do that, but hey, it happened, and the pet shop were fine with that, and we've not yet received any more phone calls. I really have my heart set on these dogs going to good homes, and you worry because you do know disreputable people exist. Even though it's rainy and it's windy today, I will be going up and seeing them. Otherwise, this week in my vlog, I talked about taking a day to be sad, and I saw this morning that Liz Schubert's commented about, maybe it was the drink talking, and you know, because I talked about this spiced wine I had, but in terms of my personality, in terms of Vlogmas or anything like this, I constantly set myself very high aspirations for a month. It's who I am. It's something that's been conditioned into me by a society that constantly sees it as if you're not working then you aren't achieving anything, and then everybody's constantly striving to achieve, so to be told that you're not achieving anything or what you're doing is worthless actually lends itself to you not feeling too good. When I spend, as what was it then, day 10 or 11 of constantly editing videos and knowing it's just a hobby, knowing that it's not doing anything to kind of further a career or move you up in the world, you get this sensation that what's it worth? And then I have to have these big conversations with myself about how, like I said there, not everything you do has to be worth something. Resetting my brain to be like, do you know what? It's okay not to be making money off every single thing that you do. It's okay just to do stuff and enjoy it. So that was the sort of day I was having on Thursday. As well as it being a sad day, I didn't want to kind of like spoil the video really, but basically in terms of the whole dog thing, the pups I've just mentioned, I really kind of did have my heart set on maybe keeping one of these pups, and to realise and properly recognise myself that it just isn't possible, and why it isn't possible both emotionally, financially, and just how I live was a bit difficult. So I was feeling a bit sad that day. Then it brought back all these memories of my other dog. So that was the whole point of sadness. And I think it's okay to allow yourself to be sad some days. I think that if we pretend that every day is going to be happy and that you're going to be feeling really fantastic every single day, it just wouldn't be right. I never used to talk about that in these videos, apart from one of my very first videos about giving up on writing, but I constantly had this feeling that people don't really want to see you when you're maybe not at your best. But I don't want to contribute to this narrative that everything is okay every single day. It's who I am. And I also don't want people to go into life thinking that when they're having a bad day, it's going to be a bad week. Like, I want people to think you can have bad days and it's just a one-off thing. It's just one day in a week, and there are going to be other days where you're feeling fine and content. And I want everyone to know that it's okay to be a bit sad sometimes. It's perfectly fine and natural. I'm going to talk about books for a second. Ali Smith, Autumn, caught up with it, fine. Discussion started last night. Thought I might actually start contributing something, but it got close to 1 o'clock. I fell asleep, woke up this morning thinking, oh, the conversation ended. My app hadn't sent me any notifications, so there were 54 comments to read through when I woke up this morning, and it's become one of those things similar to the BookTube prize, where I don't think that I am insightful enough, because I'm just reading it and thinking, oh, this could be this could be this, and trying to remember everything that was happening 4 years ago when Ali Smith was writing this book. But everyone else is picking up on all these art references and things, and I'm just there like, really? Because I don't think that my brain works in the same way. I think everyone, when they're looking at something, has their own frame of reference, and my frame of reference isn't the same as other people's. And so maybe I'm beginning to think I'm a bit more common, but I don't want this to be a thing where I'm like denigrating myself and saying, do you know what, I'm not smart enough, because I am enjoying myself with the reading of this book. And I really enjoy Ali Smith's prose, and I'm really enjoying the discussion, and it is bringing more to it. It's like when I've buddy read books in the past. My brother is now whistling at the dog. We're going to cope with it. We've got wind outside, we've got rain, we've got my brother whistling. I know that I am perfectly smart enough to be able to look at this book and analyse it and see what Ali Smith's doing. It's just my frame of reference is different, and that I think about the book in a different way to other people, and that's perfectly fine. Then we have Sylvias Lovers. Didn't read any of this last week, despite saying that I needed to, and I really want to finish it before the end of the year. I really do, but it's not happening, and I don't know why. I've kind of stalled at the page 200 point. My dad's going to be having a go at my brother in a second for whistling, and then my brother's going to argue with my dad about how it's his house as well, and how he should be allowed to whistle if he wants to, and he wouldn't think that you'd be able to catch it on my video, and then there's going to be a huge argument, and that will be fun. And then I'll have to go downstairs and be completely calm about the entire situation, be like, it's fine, people love the background noise of somebody whistling, and then just pretend that I'm not passive aggressive and angry because they've decided to do this, because they've decided to be ignorant today, of all days, and then act as though everything is fine at home and we aren't having arguments, because we're not being forced to be in close quarters so much, and you aren't recognising everybody's bad behaviours and the things that annoy you. Sylvias Lovers seems a fantastic book to read when I know what's about to happen in the next chapter. Utopia Avenue, still only 50 pages in, but I have 150 pages to read by Tuesday. I didn't want to edit this video, but now it seems I'm going to have to edit this video because I just had to blow my nose, so it's very upsetting. Also did not finish my friend's book like I'd hoped to. So basically what I was reading last week is what I'll be reading this week, with the added possibility, and Nigel Slater's Christmas Chronicles. So what I read last week is what I will read this week, adding on The Life of Our Lord by Charles Dickens, and starting The Lollipop Shoes by Joanne Harris. I'm hoping this week will be a bit easier for me in terms of reading, because I'm hoping to not edit videos. I mentioned it in my vlog. I think that it's just easier for me to put out content that's not edited, so it means there's going to be long pauses. I'm going to be saying a lot, I'm going to say and so a lot, I'm going to say and then a lot. It'll just have to happen because I am getting too stressed about editing stuff, and I'd hope to finish 2 more chapters of the final Doris book by the end of December. It's not going to happen because the way I'm currently writing it'd be 20,000 more words, and I do not have the time to write another 20,000 words. I did consider taking the final week between Christmas and New Year off from making videos, so I could write and read and get some stuff done during that time. We'll see how things go. Also this week, we had some more orders of my books. So I have sold a few copies of Our Doris now, both physical editions from my website and on Kindle, and An Heir to Murder. I haven't sold any from my own personal website, but a few have now gone on Amazon. Let's just remember what everybody forgets. Indisputably Doris and Doris Ahoy do still exist. And I'm mentioning them because I think I have 1 week left for you to still be able to get my books as Christmas presents. And if that is something that you would like to do, it would very much help me further my career as an indie author. And that would be fun because it helps me to pay my rent. I don't like to mention it so much, but it's who I am. I have to go in for the self-promotion and the publicising of my own books because I did write them. I did decide this was going to be a facet of my career. So whether I like it or not, I have these books out, and if you want to get them for Christmas and use them as Christmas gifts, then you've got about 1 week left, otherwise they ain't arriving until after the big day. And the Royal Mail's been a bit, not slow, but it's still in pandemic conditions, so it's not able to get stuff around the country as fast as it ordinarily would. Order soon to avoid disappointment. I'll leave all of the links in the description to my personal website. If you wanted to get in touch and maybe talk about a deal just paying me through PayPal, that's fine. Other people have done that too. You can go to Waterstones, you can go to most foils. An Heir to Murder's not really appearing on sites, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of everything going on worldwide, but what can you do? Now he's laughing. Whistling, laughing brother. Ignorant. That's the problem with younger siblings. They're feral. They want to live their lives, and you aren't allowed to throw stuff at them. Well, you're allowed to throw stuff at them, but your parents constantly take their side because you're older and you're supposed to be more sensible. Which my mum now admits she thinks she ruined my childhood by telling me that I needed to be more sensible because there wasn't a more sensible child in the world. Thank you, mother. In terms of An Heir to Murder, last night I ended up having the revelation of how I am going to solve a mystery in the Alice Valentine series. And it might seem strange for you to be hearing this and wondering, well, why wouldn't you have this planned out from the start? So basically, I have known the mystery that's going to run throughout the series of An Heir to Murder since the beginning. And I knew how it was going to end, but I didn't know where a certain character had been for so long and why they disappeared out. I knew why, but I needed to know how it came to this and how it came to be such a secret that throughout the series is going to grow and is going to grow. And last night, using a bit of history from my mum's background during her teens and her 20s and something that happened then, it gave me a great idea as to how I can figure out just what went on to cause this mystery that's going to run throughout the series. I haven't yet figured out whether this is going to run throughout 5 books or whether it's going to run throughout 10, because I do have plans for 10 Alice books. But I don't know whether the mystery can last that long, whether people will have enough faith in me as a writer because even when I look at the Harry Hole books by Joe Nesbo, even though each book's individual and there's this overarching story, usually it's like a trilogy of stories, and then that batch of overarching theme is done and he moves on to another one. Of course, you still have the ongoing will they won't they relationship between him and Raquel, but for the most part, Joe Nesbo's not asking a lot from his readers to try and keep the faith in him. Whilst I know where this is going to go, I don't know when the mystery is going to be solved. In terms of writing, it seems that a lot of people are hoping for the Alice book to be what I write after Royally Doris, and I can understand that because it's what I just released and I'm expecting a lot if I ask people to wait a long time to try and get that mystery solved. But I did say I wanted to write something standalone, and I had plans for the Charity Shop book, my adaptation of my radio play. I keep calling it an adaptation. It's not an adaptation. It's as though it's the sequel to the radio play, really. I've told the story I wanted to tell in the radio series, which was more of a love story. The final 2 episodes that I want to rewrite, I haven't rewritten yet. That's a story that I wanted to write for a while, and this novella, A Prior Commitment, that I wrote... No, I didn't write. I planned 6 years ago. I'd planned to be next as well, so there's a lot of plans in my head that I really have to properly figure out and solve what I'm going to do in the grand scheme of things in terms of my writing. This week I'm hoping to be a bit more relaxed. I'm hoping not to have to edit so many videos, just kind of record them and throw them out into the world and hope for the best. That's going to be the way of doing things. I know that if I allow things to keep going this way, I'm going to become a bit overwhelmed, so it's just the best way to make things work for me. I know that most people are kind of supportive and I appreciate that, so yeah, even though I'm going to edit this video and cobble things together and it's going to be a bit of a mess, this week plans to be more relaxed. I have now said that I'll go to my nan's on Tuesday, though I haven't figured out what day for this meal. We're planning to celebrate Christmas because it's difficult this year. Should be going out with work on Wednesday. I don't know whether that's happening. I am neither here nor there about it. I could live without it, but we'll see. Mostly I want to focus on reading again and de-stressing because I'm up here, I think, and I'd like to just mellow out a bit. Maybe cut down on caffeine. That might be a good idea for this week. But I hope you got something out of this video besides sheer boredom, and until next time, that is all.